What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 83, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions come at you each and every Monday at noon Eastern. I'm Kevin McManus. With me, Nick Hassell.
Hey, I'm back.
And speaking of being back, it's Craig Johnson.
It's me.
You're the first returning guest, unless you count Todd. I guess Todd
He exists.
technically returned, but you're the first person that we've had on for like a one and done thing, and then I was like, I want to bring you back. And originally when I started the show, I very much wanted to have like two people, maybe three, and keep it very consistent. So the opinions were consistent, you could follow. If a game came out, you could easily judge against what they've said before and figure out if you would like that game, et cetera, et cetera. And as time's gone on, I've been like, I kind of want to like rotate people a little bit more. I'm scared about just bringing random people, like random friends on. And
I thought you just meant like run around the street and grabbing random
I'm
people.
scared about just bringing some random guy from the main road.
Do you
on.
like games?
Yeah, come on the podcast. I'm scared about just bringing random friends on because I don't know how they'll do. But we already had you on once. I was like, I enjoyed that. Welcome back.
Thank you. I
How you
appreciate
been?
it. I've been pretty good. Pretty good.
Fair, we wouldn't have switches without you probably, so we owe you.
It would have been super delayed at least.
Yeah,
I think maybe you and I were kind of eyeing Splatoon 2 as our potential jump-in date. But
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't have played it up until then, so I literally might still think it was the stupidest thing ever.
And that's one of the few systems that they don't have like sitting in Best Buy, which is enjoyable to just run up and start playing.
Yeah, the controllers or the joysticks are all chewed off by the 5-year-olds that go in there.
When the 360 and the PS3 released, it was easy to go into the GameStops or the EBs or the Walmarts or Best Buys and just like play and be like, I like this system. Call of Duty 2? Okay, I like it. I'll buy one. Whereas this is like, I don't know, there's not many single-player games that you can just run up and start playing.
Yeah.
So,
I also think that it's just going to be consistently hard to get them as we get closer and closer to holiday time around Christmas.
which they said they wouldn't be like that.
They're getting. I think they're getting better. Like, there's a store near us that gets a couple every few days, so they like have them in. But the thing is, they sell them that day.
Yeah.
But they get them. So if you want one, you can get one. You just need to be like
you need to
ready
have text
to get it.
notifications ready
Yeah,
to go.
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
you have to be ready.
Walmart, they keep popping in and out of stock. I keep sending it to Kellen. I'm like, hey, it's in stock. And by the time he looks at it, they're long gone.
And you also have to beat out the people who are looking to grab it and
Flip
make
it, yeah.
a profit off of it. So
anyway, just a little bit of housekeeping. I want to say that I figured out how to put more than one Twitter account on my phone.
hey,
I didn't know that you could do that.
Yeah.
So I put the PressX_YT Twitter account on my phone, so I'm tweeting from that a lot more.
Woohoo.
And also, I want to do an unboxing video for my Splatoon 2 setup. Basically, I got the Pro controller, which I've opened and played with, but I'll pretend I didn't. I got the Joy-Cons on the way, and I finally bought a case for my Switch. And I was debating back and forth between
like a carrying case.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was debating back and forth between just getting the regular Nintendo case because people really like that one, and it's subtle. It's not like obnoxious. Or the European/Japan Splatoon 2 one. Our Splatoon one's just the cover of the game, and it's super like obnoxious. This one is just it's like the Pro controller. It's black and it's got the symbols all over it in like a grayish color, so it's not obnoxious. And the zippers are just pink and green.
Cool.
So it's not too
Yeah.
much. So I'm gonna do an unboxing of like the Splatoon set basically when those decide to come in. I don't know when.
I ended up liking my little carrying case a lot too.
Yours is like a trunk. Yeah, you've got like a whole
it's
situation.
It's pretty big, but it can't. Like I hate having to put like here's the thing it sets in, here's the controller, here's the plug-in for it. Like you can just box all that. And
Yours
then,
is like not a memory foam, but they fit like they're built to hold exactly. This is the Joy-Con slot, and they hold them real tight.
And
they're not
I
going
like
anywhere.
the little cartridge case, so I don't have to carry the boxes around and stuff like that. Because those cartridges are tiny.
Yeah.
And if it falls between like the crack of a couch or something, rest in
it's
peace.
gone. Yeah,
I'm just gonna log on.
The
to
official
Amazon.
Nintendo case has a compartment
It
that
does.
opens up in
Cool.
the bottom with those cartridge cases. The Splatoon one doesn't, but it has like a zipper slot to put them in, and then
Just
it
chuck
can
'em in there.
and then it can flip and make like a triangle pyramid thing, and you can set the switch on it, and it's like a little kickstand for it, which is
When
nice.
I first got my Switch and I was going through looking at accessories, I did buy one of the, it was supposed to be like an all-in-one carrying case where you could carry everything you ever need with your Switch all in one. And when I looked it up online, I thought it looked pretty cool, and then I got it in and it was like this big.
It's like
is that the
his
one
is
you
big.
have? Is it about like this, roughly?
No, I mean I can grab it after this and show you, but like I'd say it's no bigger than.
Okay, so the one I got I think is a little bigger, and it's just like unruly big.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not carrying this anywhere.
If
Yeah,
that-
but if someone tries to rob you, you can hit them.
if that's a large, then I get a medium, basically.
okay,
So it can just fit the width of the Switch and the Joy-Cons attached to it at the same
Cool.
time, with just like a little bit of gap on each side, and then it's got opening controller dock.
Yeah, it
That's
holds
it.
the dock, which is
It's
nice.
basically like lunchbox size, is what
Cool.
I would call it. So
Anyway, let's move into what we've been playing. I'll start off because I don't have too much. So my big one is Splatoon 2.
Mhm.
I'm like level 26 or 27 or something. Put a lot of time into it.
yeah, you play a lot.
Yeah. Been playing ranked. I've
Mhm.
kind of moved away from Turf War, except for the Splatfest that's going on. The Splatfest, Team Mayo versus Ketchup. They changed the gun ink to Mayo and Ketchup. It's very disturbing.
It is definitely
Apparently,
a
you
little bit
can't play with your friends unless you have exactly 3 other friends to make a team with, or at least
Yeah.
that's what I got from the 10 minutes I tried to play it today. But anyway, the ranked modes, very enjoyable. I kind of was like, oh, Turf War is just the best. I'll keep playing Turf War. And then I started playing the ranked ones. So the first one is tower control. These are all from the old game, but tower control, basically you have to paint a little tower and stand on top of it. And when you're standing on it, it's on rails, and the tower will move towards the enemy base. So they're going to be spawning.
Sort of like Payload from Overwatch.
Yeah, sounds very
Sure.
similar.
Except the other team can then take it and it
Yeah.
goes backwards. And whoever can get that tower into the opponent's base first wins.
Okay.
But it gets hard because it goes towards their base, so they're going to be spawning on the tower. So
Yeah.
if your team gets wiped out, it's going to take you a while to get back to it. That one was my favorite. They've all spent like a moment being my favorite, which is probably pretty good. So there's that one. Then there is Splat Zone, which is kind of like Domination.
Yeah.
There's one area, or King of the Hill, I guess is a better way to put it. There's one area that you need to paint, and once you cover that paint with like 51% ink, it turns into your color, and then you defend it until they can 51% it in their color, and then they get it. And there's a 100-second countdown, basically. You need to hold it for 100 seconds. Though there's a weird penalty system to it that I don't fully understand, where basically to prevent people just from running in and painting it and then dying, if you do that, your team gets penalized when it changes over, and it adds more time to your clock. So you need to actually control it for, like, it'll show a little battle thing on the top for what's
Yeah.
happening, and if it switches and then switches back real quick, like, you get penalized for that. You need to hold the thing as long as you can.
Yeah.
Well, like a momentum meter sort of thing, or like
It's
a
not
tug of
momentum.
war?
It's literally like the amount of, it shows the square and how much ink is getting flung in it. Because once you have it, it turns all your color, but then it doesn't change back until somebody gets that 51%.
Okay.
So as long as you keep it lower than that, you're okay. But once they take it and you start inking it, it's weird. I don't fully understand the penalty. Sometimes it's 49, but they're not seconds. They're
Yeah.
like half seconds. It's very strange. I don't know. So I like that one, but I'm confused on the rules.
Does that
and
clock
there's
like
no...
pause or anything? I feel like I'd rather have it be like a 3 or 5 minute match.
No. So it's a 5-minute match. The
With
time
100
is
seconds.
no. It's a 5-minute match, but you have to do the 100 seconds. If time runs out, whoever had it the longest
okay.
wins.
I get you.
They're all like that. If
Okay.
you don't get the tower to the thing, it's whoever made it the closest to the base, I guess. But yeah, I like that mode for a while as well, and then I moved on to this next one that's currently my favorite and was the one that I liked the least at the start, and that's Rainmaker. And this one, basically, there is the Rainmaker, which is a super powerful weapon that shoots like a sniper shot and then a huge explosion at the
Okay.
end of the sniper shot. And the way it works is it's in the middle of the map. You spawn. You have to shoot it. It's got a shield on it. And when you blow up the shield, it explodes in your ink. So if both teams are shooting it, it's not going to explode. It needs to be your color completely to take it down. But if 2 pink are shooting it and 1 green shooting it, the pink will win that fight. Then it explodes and somebody on your team can pick it up. When you pick it up, you need to bring it to the enemy base and put it on top of this tower by their spawn point. So it's just reverse capture the flag, I guess. You pick it up and bring it to their base. But it's fun because it's a weapon. And it's a really good weapon that'll one-shot people. So you all need to kind of gather with this person that has the super strong weapon and try to bring it up to the base. And you
protect them,
you
yeah.
just feel like such a boss when you swim up their thing and you slam the trophy down on their base and win. I'm really enjoying that game mode.
Yeah,
But-
it's sort of like neutral flag on top of VIP. I guess, once you actually get that weapon.
Yeah,
you need to
and when you
protect the
have
guy.
it, you're glowing. So like if you're in
Yeah.
the ink, you're very obvious where you are. You
Yeah.
can't like hide with the thing. So I'm really enjoying that. The thing that's different from Turf War is painting the territory helps because you can move around, but like you're not painting your territory. Like people aren't going start and splitting off. You go start and you make one ink trail and you get to the middle with your full team and
Just
then you
actual
spread out in the
objectives,
middle. Killing people is way more important and you get way better at killing people. So when I did this and then I went back to Turf War, I'm getting, 11, 13 kills all these games, but like I'm not winning because I'm not doing the painting the territory thing anymore. I'm just like murdering people because I can. And you don't realize how bad people are at killing each other until you play ranked and then you go back to Turf War and you're like, everybody here sucks.
Yeah.
Everybody here is real
Like, I'm
bad.
just wrecking everybody.
Yeah, as far as like killing them goes. So some things that I like about it, all the game modes are individually ranked. So if you don't play Rainmaker, your Rainmaker rank stays at like 0.
That's cool. There's like separate playlists.
When it changes to Tower Control, your Tower Control rank. So if you're really bad at one of them, you're not going to be paired against people who are really good at
Theoretically.
Tower Control, and like it messes it up. Yeah,
That's a good system.
their ranked matchmaking is actually very good
Way better. Okay, cool.
because it's letter based. So you start at a C minus, and you either go up or down from there, and you only play with people in your letter.
Cool.
So a C will never play with a B, and a B will never play with an A. So
that
it
makes
actually
sense.
works much better.
Well, what happens when an A, a C, and like a B all join together in one group?
That I don't know because I
Okay.
haven't tried that. But
We'll have to test it.
I
and find
imagine
out.
you go into the A's would be my guess.
Yeah.
But
That
I'm
makes
not sure.
sense.
Anyway, yeah, Splatoon 2. Love that game. Next up, I've been playing Overcooked. Almost done with that game. Been playing it through SharePlay, which is my favorite feature on the PlayStation 4 that no one uses. I SharePlay it with my niece, and then we can play co-op, couch-only, non-online games online, and it's fantastic. It just streams the game to her, and we went through the entire game. We're literally on the final level now. That game is just a blast. It's on Switch now. I think it is a perfect Switch game. I would have rather had it on Switch, honestly, except then I couldn't SharePlay it, I guess. But really like Overcooked. I've heard it's got some frame rate stuff on the Switch that are problems.
Hey, go figure.
But the developers are like, yeah, we're fixing it, so don't
Cool.
worry. So that's cool.
For the record on that one, I did just play Overcooked with Kevin for the first time today.
Yeah.
And it is a great game, but my goodness, can it get stressful at times?
Yeah, it's very stressful. You're working in the kitchen. You got to make the meals. They're timed. You have to ship them out, which is fine. But then they start doing things like they cut you in half, and there's a conveyor belt. So you have to start shipping half the ingredients one way and half them the other way. There's ice that you can slip on. You're in cars that are moving, and then they separate, and you can't get to the other side of the kitchen. You're
Spaceships.
You're in space.
Yeah.
There's lava. They do a whole bunch of things.
Definitely something when I was kind of reading on it for Switch, I wasn't sure if I was like, man, if I get this, am I going to regret getting it where it's just me? I think it's definitely a very good party style.
Yeah, no, don't play it by yourself. It's very boring. When you play it by yourself, it's a different game. You control both people, and you have to swap between them, and it's miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
do
that's
that.
going to be the theme for a little bit with Switch. I mean, I think I own 7 games and 6 are party games.
Yeah,
so
like
it's just gonna
Switch
be-
to me is somehow the easy party game system,
Yeah.
meaning like Bomberman and Mario, these things that only need 1 or 2 buttons,
Yeah.
so you can do the dumb Joy-Con thing. Or the niche single player like Splatoon, Zelda, and like that's the whole console to
Yeah.
me. Super multiplayer and niche single player, and that's it. And I'm fine with that. I'm happy with
Yep. As
Um,
long as they keep piling on the party games, sure.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously the single player games are coming with the Shin Megamis and the
Fire Emblem
Xenoverse
Warriors.
and Fire. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited for that. I played Injustice 2 for a solid like 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this game is slow and I want to play Tekken.
Yep.
And that was the end of that. Like I was playing it, somebody did their super and I put the controller down because in Tekken, if you don't hit buttons, that's how you block.
Yeah.
I put the controller down and just got hit by their super and I'm like, I'm done with this game. I can't do this right now. And then finally, I've been playing more Pokemon Go. Mole Trace is out. I think I've got 4 or 5 Mole Traces now. We've been going around in our group I was talking about last week. I don't need to tell any more stories about it, but I really like the raids. I like how they work. Zapdos comes out on Monday, and then I'll have the trifecta of birds. So Craig, what have you been playing?
So my what have you been playing is a little strange. I actually do have a pretty large backlog of games that have come out
Oh, we're going to talk
over the
about
past
backlogs.
like 6 months that I definitely need to play. Things like Horizon and Nier and things like that. Games that I know are great and that I know I need to play. But probably I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I went online and I bought a modded Nintendo 64 that outputs to HDMI. And I just bought a ton of N64 games, and I've just been playing that. Kind of huge nostalgia fest for me.
Like the actual carts?
Yeah, the actual carts. Like
That's
real
baller.
carts, plugging them in, they just play on my HDTV, and it's great. So I've been just going through, and I was playing
What are some of them?
Super Mario 64,
Of
Banjo
course.
Kazooie.
Of course.
Going through Donkey Kong 64, a lot of just the general platformer ones. I picked up probably a good, I would say 15 games. Original Tony Hawk Pro Skater, things
Oh,
like
boy.
that. Just games that when I played it, Pokemon Snap was another one. Games that
course.
I remember getting and playing as a kid and just kind of having that throwback.
Did you get
of-
Perfect Dark?
I did, yep.
Good
I
man.
Man.
did. And GoldenEye, of course.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I basically just picked up like 15 of like the classics.
Should have brought that over. We could just all play GoldenEye.
I should have. And the other good thing is when I bought it, they let me pick any color console I want. So I got a gold N64.
Yeah, of course.
And
Makes
then
sense.
they were like, here's a matching controller, and they upgraded the controller where it has the GameCube analog stick,
Cool.
which is awesome, super good. So
This sounds fantastic.
that has been glorious.
How much was this modded thingy?
So I got it for a couple $100, which is fine because if you think about it, like the board inside and the actual console, and then the tough part for me is the games, is because I'm
They're
trying
expensive now.
Yeah, a lot of them are expensive, and I'm trying to not spend a ton of money on them.
Yeah.
So I try to like snipe them on auctions on eBay when I can, and
Yeah.
just get them when they're cheap. Some of them were tougher. The only one that I did buy that was a little more expensive than I wanted.
Did you get
to pay,
Conquer?
I got Conquer.
Yep.
And
Is that
reason-
the one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
Conquer's
one.
so expensive right
It's
now.
super expensive, and the only reason I got it was because that's one game I've seen over the past however many years that I've like, man, I never got to play that as a kid.
Sure.
And it
Ah.
looks great.
And you have Rare Replay, and you were like, this doesn't do
I
it
have
for
a
me.
replay. I mean, it re-came out on Xbox Live Arcade as Live and Reloaded.
Okay, yeah, don't play that.
I don't know. That was the one game. It was a little expensive, and I'm like, I'm going to get it anyway.
Conquer's sweet.
So, yeah, that's pretty much been what I've been doing. And Pokemon Go, of course.
No Pokemon Go for me, but I have been playing mobile. My Bleach game that I've just log in every day, basically just to chip away at, has had a big second-year anniversary. So I've just been spamming the hell out of that. It's easy to do when you get a few
When the
minutes
game
at
plays
work.
for you.
And that, you can play it at work. You can kind of just, I can leave it playing on auto for a few of the modes on there, and I can just, hey, I'm at a red light, plug in something and just go and just let it play while I'm driving back. So I can just kind of fit in these little time windows and play it. But when I'm sitting down and playing video games, I'm just playing Splatoon 2 at the moment. I wasn't here last week, which I guess was the first week all of us were talking about it, including probably Kellen. A lot of issues with the game, just
None at
coming
all.
from
Perfect
a
game.
person who usually has their 1 or 2 shooters per year. This game is heavily flawed, but it's still fun. And I think it's fun enough to look past it. It's just...
Yeah, the only frustrating, actual frustrating thing, the rotating maps. I was talking to Kellen about this. I don't think we talked about it on the podcast. I think we finished the podcast and then we played for a couple hours after.
Oh, really? Okay.
And we were playing it, and I was like, maybe the reason they do the map rotation and that they won't announce why. Maybe the reason they do that is just balancing. You get a huge sample size every time because you can only play on 2 maps with X, and you can't change your weapon. So they get these huge samples that they can easily use to balance things, maps and weapons and stuff like that. And they have made changes to the maps with this Splatfest update. I don't know if it's just for Splatfest, but there's certain walls that you used to be able to climb that you can't climb anymore,
really?
and they've changed things. All the music's different and stuff, but that's just for the Splatfest. So I'm curious if the map rotation thing has to do with getting a huge sample size of
Sure.
people. They're like, all right, we know they're going to be playing this one map for 2 hours. We have a lot of data to see if we need to change
Like
this
basically
weapon.
throw you in a vacuum.
Yeah, they're like, this weapon has 1 on this map way too much. Let's do something about that or something. And I don't know if that's the reason. But my only super frustrating point with it is this horde mode thing. You can't play the horde mode anytime you want. They lock it off, and I don't know. I haven't looked at the times. It seems like they lock it on weekends, which is when I want to play it.
There
we're all
really
here. We all have a
needs-
Switch. We all have Splatoon, and we can't play the stupid
There
horde
really needs
mode.
to be an in-game notification center.
Oh, there is.
If,
Have you turned on the game? They go, hey, the battle stage is...
yeah. That's one of my most frustrating things, that you have to sit through that. Even
yeah. Marina's
spamming
okay.
A or whatever it is still takes up to a minute, 30 seconds to a minute. And there's just too much. There's too much unnecessary stuff in the game.
See,
like
I
that.
never shut off the game. I just put it in sleep mode, so I never really see that because it only happens when you actually close the game.
Well, I guess in regards to what you just said about them locking that off on certain times and having to look up the times when it's open, I could never understand why for the demos they would do, okay, Splatoon Splatfest, it's going to be 1 hour, 6 times a day for 1 weekend in July. And I'm like, what? Why would you do it?
I had to wake up at 7 a.m. to play this stupid Splatfest for an hour.
Like, I get that they're doing server tests and that they're trying to, like, you know, give people different times on different parts of the world or whatever, but just leave it open for the weekend. Like, is it that difficult?
I don't know.
It's so
They're very
weird.
strange. I feel like they really want, for those, they want the most people that they can get on at one time to get like a peak to make sure that their servers are okay. But like, I don't understand the horde mode thing unless they're actually scared about not having enough players for all the game modes. But I swear, there's people that play this game that only like the horde mode for sure, and they're just not gonna play.
Well, my
during
thing
that time.
Yeah, I mean that's super frustrating, and it's just like this. I sit there and play the entire time in the back of my head, whether I'm having fun or frustrated at something or having a team that doesn't have someone who's playing, which is every match, whether it's mine or their team or both. All I think is how much better could this game be if, fill in the blank, if I didn't have to sit through Marina and whoever else talking at the start. If I could swap out my loadout at least in the lobby between matches,
so strange.
Or maybe in game when
I don't mind not being able to swap it in the game, but the fact that you can't swap it in the lobby is very strange.
The
fact that you can't leave a lobby is very strange. Like we were going to play today, and I accidentally hit one more game, and I was like, "Well, we can't play right now. I gotta finish this game."
Well, I mean, it blows when you're like, okay, well, these teams were kind of balanced. 2 people drop out, 2 more drop in. And next thing you know, you're on the team with 3 rollers and you, and you're like, well, okay, well, I auto lose unless they just run the entire time while I kill.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of stuff they have to work on in their multiplayer aspects, their rooms, how games are set up, kind of the whole works. I think that the game is good.
Yeah.
I think it's just that there's a lot of tweaking that needs to be
The thing is, Splatoon 1 had these same complaints.
Yeah.
Didn't let you do the things in the lobby, had the rotating maps, all this stuff, and they didn't change it, which means they like it. Like, they didn't change that. They changed other things that people complained about, and specifically not them. So there's
the other
a reason.
thing that doesn't make sense is they wanted, whether it was like super serious or just kind of half-assed, push like an esports thing kind of on top of it. And I can't imagine esports people.
I watched it on TV.
They sit there beforehand and go, "Hey Kevin, you choose the sniper. Hey Craig, you choose the roller. I'm gonna do whatever."
Yeah.
Like they have that communication where they can set it up versus randos where you're just like, oh, I'm 3 buckets in a roller team. Awesome.
Yeah, the only thing you can say is ouch or booyah. Like, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nintendo.
Booyah doesn't really get my frustration across.
Yeah, I wish, even if the lobby just had like a text thing, but then it doesn't matter because it would be like, you can't really help it. You'd be like, I have a roller. Okay. Oh, you're put on a random team, so it doesn't matter anyway. Like, you can't coordinate at all unless they did like the drafting system.
The draft would make sense, but like at least have a mode. If you want to keep, just call it classic mode if you want Splatoon 1s just with different maps and those new weapons. But like have custom or something where I can invite people in the middle of a match and okay, maybe it makes them sit out until someone leaves, but they auto join my team.
Yeah.
And make it so we can swap in between
team.
like
it's so strange.
Actually, between matches isn't that long. It's like 30, 45 seconds, maybe a minute, it feels like.
Yeah.
The maps load fast, and obviously...
It's 2 minutes, but it starts as soon as you get a team, which is usually quick.
So, 30 more seconds of choose a weapon where it counts down, and then if everyone readies up, start. Yeah. I don't think that would be that big of a deal. I know the main draw of the game is to get 30,000 matches in what feels like 5 minutes. Just because it's like rapid fire, go. But I don't think a simple weapon choice would make that big a difference, especially with amiibos where you can be like, oh, I've got the paint roller team. Boop. Okay, there's my sniper, or there's my...
Yeah, it might sell them
whatever.
Sell some amiibos. They re-released Callie and Marie the other day.
Nice.
Nope. I was so happy. I was like, I got them.
Oh
and
yeah,
nobody else
I guess I
does.
finally got some to
And
get the
they re-released them.
to because I know I come over here and play it a lot. Have the ability to just
Swap.
put my controls in and stuff like that. But also, since they were cheap enough, I mean, they were like in the teens or 20s or something like that. I got a couple just so I could have the cool outfits.
You got the
and-
hardest to get ones.
Yeah.
Which ones are
Um,
those?
You got the one I don't even have. The original 3-pack,
Yeah.
which is the orange-haired chick, the blue-haired guy, and the green squid man.
Yeah, I just got the new ones that just
Yeah.
came out with for Splatoon 2.
Oh, did you really?
Mhm.
I
It's
want
like-
that purple squid man so
yeah, I
bad.
have that one.
I want him so
You
bad.
didn't bring it, did you?
No, I didn't.
Darn it.
Kevin didn't tell me to.
Yeah, I wish
specifically
you
said,
brought all
what do you
of
want me
them.
to bring? And he
I
never
didn't know
said
you
Amiibos.
had them.
Yeah.
You
I
didn't
would
ask.
have. I would. That's true. I didn't ask. I
But,
should have just assumed.
When I
But
said,
yeah,
yeah, you
we
shut up.
that's something cool about the game too. Is that I mean, I just brought one, but I could bring all of the original 3, and we could get all the costumes that
Yeah,
way.
we amongst us have all the costumes because I have Callie and Marie.
Oh,
You only
you
have to scan it
you
once
have
to
the
get the
new
costumes?
ones.
As long as your level
you have the
past a certain
guy.
level, like what you do is you scan it once and it acknowledges you and it unlocks it in the game, and then you have to hit level tiers, and then once you do that and do a few things in the menu, then it unlocks. It's like, hey, here you go.
And they just give you all the armor, and then you
Yeah.
have it,
Cool.
which is nice.
You get like
we'll have to plan a day and come and have a costume party.
yeah, you get like head, torso, legs, and then music or something like that.
Yeah.
So
You give me your green squid, and I'll give you my purple.
Yeah,
squid.
because
play dress up.
the girl and guy amiibo that you have unlock different outfits than the ones I have.
Cool.
So
Well, you're more than welcome to scan my
Yeah.
Amiibos whenever you want, Kevin.
Definitely a cool game, but there's so many frustrations, and that's my biggest complaint is that I sit there and go, how much better could this game be if?
yeah, it's
Sure.
and then
it's
my
so
list
close.
is like that long.
Yeah.
But
But
I'm
it's
still
fun.
playing, so
I think that
That's
at the end of the
something
day,
to say.
Splatoon's always going to be fun for what it is, but it's
Yeah.
like, so you can kind of overlook those if you want to play Splatoon.
Like if Splatoon to me, I think could be an amazing single player thing, and for their single player, it's fun. But they're like, this weird like you get in the portal and jump to a little challenge, and you get in a portal and jump to a little challenge, you
Yeah.
get in a portal and jump to a little challenge, and I'm like, you could make like Super Mario Sunshine out of.
Yeah.
You can make Inkopolis the hub, and you can go up the buildings and find levels through there, and like make it like Super Mario Sunshine.
Which that would be
And-
awesome.
And they don't. They just do like mini challenges, which are fun, but
I don't know. I mean, I know the numbers are going to be kind of skewed because everyone who gets Switch is like heavily
buys
into
every
Splatoon.
single game that comes out.
But like, I feel like this could be
Apparently,
up there
they're
with,
all furries
with
too.
the yeah. Hey, they can draw real well.
That is the weirdest part of
sure.
Splatoon right now. by the way.
But
The furry war is going
yeah,
on.
it's weird.
But like I feel like it could be up there with the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and stuff like that if they would ramp up like the fundamental parts of the game.
I agree.
Anything else?
Nope, just mobile when I'm not at home and Splatoon when I am. Which I mean, I've got a huge backlog, which we're gonna get into in some form or fashion. But I know this is the time of the year where I need to knock it out, but I can't.
For me, I thought this was the com part.
Yeah.
And I have so many games coming out and this game releases I'm getting. I'm like, oh
I
man.
probably have like 30
Oh,
games that
man.
I haven't touched
But-
yet.
Let's move into the news.
My problem is that I have touched all of them. So
That's even worse.
yeah,
This is the most important news of the year.
of my life.
Persona 3, Dancing Moon Knight, Persona 5, Dancing Sun Knight, Persona Q, and the Persona 5 animation
Yeah,
have all been announced.
in 1 week.
Oh boy, oh boy.
That
Persona,
was
never heard of it. What's that?
the funniest
let us
thing
explain.
is that leading into this was all announced at, I forget the wacky name for
They
it,
had the concert.
but it was a Persona 5 concert.
Yeah.
They
And
brought
you guys
out,
didn't go?
it was in Japan.
Man, I could have got a Farfetch too.
So they literally just brought out a bunch of the voice actors, Japanese voice actors. They brought out people who sang as part of the soundtrack, and they just had a big concert.
Yeah.
for it.
They do it like every year, but
Yeah.
this year people were expecting announcements because Persona 5 just came
and
out.
the big thing leading up to it was all these domain names being dropped in, and so we got a bunch of rumors. Hey, it might be a dancing game. Hey,
Yeah.
it might be the
I thought
anime.
it was the anime.
Yeah.
That's specific. I was like, because people, I don't know if people know, Atlas did the dancing game themselves. The arena games were done by Arcane, or not Arcane, that's the Dishonored people.
Same people that are
Arc
doing the
System.
Dragon Ball.
Arc System? Yeah.
Dragon Ball Fighters.
They're doing that, and they're doing that crossover one that has Persona in it. So I'm like, okay, they're not going to be doing Persona 5 Arena already. Then, the dancing game was in-house, so I was like, I don't think we're going to get that. So I was like, I think the anime is the most likely one. And then they announced the anime, and I was like, cool, I'm going to watch it. That's exciting.
They did that maybe
and then
2
they
days.
just randomly were just like, oh, and here's the dancing game.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's another dancing game, and there's Q, too. And I'm like...
Yeah, like, it was, I think the night before this concert, they dropped the animation, because it was the day before. They dropped anime teaser. It was a bunch of still shots for the most part, maybe a little bit of animation into it, but it was from like a panel of art that they had, and they just kind of fleshed it out and said it was coming next year. So that was already kind of mind-numbing. And then the next day, our time, which I'm sure that all happened in one like 24-hour period for them out there, but it was the next calendar day for us. That's when in the morning P3D and P5D hit at the same time. Similar trailers as far as, protagonist shows up, dance a little bit, background characters show up a little bit, have some words, and then drop it off. So it seems like they're doing more of like a Pokemon red and blue, for the most part. So it's pretty cool to think about. And also both of them, Persona 3 had its own little stylish cutscene sort of thing, and then Persona 5 had protagonist guy jumping in and
I'm curious if the stories are going to be somehow linked or what they're going to do. I don't know how they do that time-wise, because Persona actually has a timeline. Like when Persona 4 is happening, the Persona 3 characters are older, and when Persona 5 is happening,
always 2 or
the
3
Persona
years
4 characters are older. So like looking at their ages, that doesn't make sense. But I don't know if they're going to do like a Sun and Moon or like a Q thing where it's a crossover.
That was the cool thing about Q, is that they did sci-fi time loop where everyone was the same age that they are in their respective games, but they met in the middle.
Right.
But yeah, and then they just randomly, after both of those trailers dropped, they just had a flyer or something that said Persona Q2.
Yeah. For the 3DS. Not coming to the Switch. Do you think this is going to be coming to the Switch?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so at all.
I think that if it was going to come out for the Switch, they definitely would have announced that. There's been a lot of games so far, like Fire Emblem Warriors is a big one where they're like, it's on both because we're supporting
why?
both.
Because it doesn't use 2 screens. You know what Persona Q does? Uses 2 screens. You have to draw the map in Persona Q. That's its whole gimmick. I don't think we're getting it on the Switch
Fair enough.
at all.
Most of the games that are on both are like coming out for Switch and 3DS, like down here. So
But this one's like coming out for 3DS and then nothing. So
I don't think we're getting it.
I feel like with how big Switch is going to be for the rest of the year and next year, if they are not announcing it, it's not happening.
I would be more not interested, but more likely. I think it's more likely we get the dancing games on the Switch than we get the
Maybe.
So I have a question, and this is coming from a point of...
Did you beat Persona 5?
I beat the first dungeon.
Oh my gosh.
So here's my thing about Persona 5.
They're called palaces.
So whatever. So I thought it was cool. I liked the game. I liked the style of the game. I liked the characters. Everything about it was sweet.
Yeah.
My only thing is that when I was playing it, like I kind of said, I already had this backlog. I was already doing other things. And then I heard people that were saying, yeah, I beat it in 100 and whatever hours, 200 hours. And I'm like, I do not have the time to do that right now. And so I put it on the back burner for me. I will finish it at some point. I think it's great. My question is, coming from someone who had never played another Persona game before Persona 5, never heard of this dancing anything.
Dancing all
night. Don't know
night.
what this is.
Vita exclusive.
Is this something that I should check out? Is it something different?
The thing is, we don't know about the stories in it. So I would say if you bought it, you would probably have to avoid the stories because they will make plenty of references to your respective game.
Correct.
4 has a dancing game that's out.
It
and
is
3 and 5 are just now getting it next year.
Yeah, and the dancing games are canon to the story.
So if
they're
you were
not
to play
like
Persona
they're not like
4,
spin-offs that are like, oh, here's
Yeah,
it.
it's
No,
not
they're canon. The only thing that is not canon is Q.
Okay. So if I were to play Persona 4 Dancing All Night before I played Persona 4 Golden, it would ruin the story.
Basically, what you could do if you wanted to treat it like Rock Band or Guitar Hero, you could play all the songs. And even though there's people popping up on screen and kind of having dialogue back and forth with each other, it's not like, oh yeah, here's the plot for Persona 4. It's just,
Remember that one time that guy did this thing?
They're dancing and having fun, but it's the story mode that you have to avoid.
There's an actual like many hour long story mode
for
in the
you,
first one.
Mr. I haven't played 3 or 4 person, and that goes for anyone out there too, is that if you don't want to drop another, I'd say 80 for both games, 3 and 4.
I'm curious if they're going to do, because they're on PS4 and Vita.
Yeah.
I'm curious if they're going to do like a separate for 40 thing and together for 60 or something like that.
That would be cool, like a little bundle.
And
pack.
the price point will kind of give it away what kind of story we can expect. If it's just something small or if it's fully fleshed out like 4's was.
Like Dancing All Night was one of the most expensive Vita games.
Yeah.
It was $50, which I think the only other Vita game that was 50 was Uncharted.
Killzone?
I think Killzone was 40.
Okay. But for people who haven't played the old ones and maybe have dabbled in this one, there are at least, and especially by that point too, there will be either an anime or a set of movies and stuff like that. So you can reduce an 80-hour campaign to
a season,
4 movies or a season of anime. So you can get into it that way. Otherwise, you would be restricted to basically what I would call a quick play version of the game.
Yeah. So let's talk story really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that this is going to have a full fleshed out story?
For
you
whatever
were talking
reason,
about you think you don't.
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
have no basis whatsoever, but I feel like...
Well, your basis is they just announced 2 games at the same time coming out together, and that's very strange.
3, if it was just 3, like if 3 came out in the spring and 5 was coming out in the fall, if they wanted to do that, I would trust it a little more as far as, okay, I can expect another 20-hour game. Because if you remember me in our Vita top 10 list, when I got to Dancing All Night on my list, I was like, I knew there was dancing. I heard a couple like previews of the tracks in the game. I was like, okay, I'm a sucker, I'll buy it. But I had no clue. I was not expecting a 20+ hour campaign and like fully fleshed out, all the characters, all the voice actors, everything.
Except for
except Rise. But so I don't know, like I expect 3 to have it because they've had plenty of time.
That's also weird. Can I just say, Rise, it made sense. She does dancing and singing. No character in 5 dances and sings. No character in 3 is like this. Maybe a story doesn't make sense.
It's gonna be real hammed on, I think, because most of them are real serious. The only one who I can see kind of just really getting into is like maybe Ryuji, and that's it, just because he's kind of goofy.
In the 5 characters.
3's even worse as far as everyone being just like very solemn and
the
depressed.
main character dancing in 3 is just a very weird thing to picture.
But yeah, like I feel like 3's a no-brainer that they can do a story. I mean, they've even with the DLC or expansion, whatever you want to call it, on top of the normal game and the various versions and Arena and Arena Ultimax with all the 3 characters in it, there's still a lot of room for, well, there's still this gap, like what happens here. And they can do that because Q didn't dive into it. So they can do that. But I don't know. It would be nice if they are canon. I just feel like 5 has come out so recently, but it's hard to remember that there's a huge chunk in time between Japan's release and ours that they could have knocked out I mean, the campaign is mostly cutscenes and then the dialogue scenes, and then it's just the gameplay.
Yeah,
so
there's not much dancing.
You don't have
in the
to build
campaign.
dungeons and palaces, and you don't have to build complex like hub worlds. It's just kind of like cutscene to cutscene.
Literally,
gameplay.
It's just dialogue.
So it's more like visual novel, and I think they could have done that because I know from the get-go they were planning on milking this for a while, which have my money. I don't care. I'll buy whatever version of the game comes out. But I knew they were going to milk it a lot, so I think probably from the get-go, even though they were working on Mainstay 5, probably towards the end they started going, okay, well, we can start making this cutscene.
They probably outsourced some dancing stuff
and
to
honestly,
get that done.
they might have left a few gaps in the story of 5, which I could see some potential spots where they could just go,
definitely.
We got this plot point, we kind of quickly brazed over it in the game. Whoop, dancing time.
I totally see that happening.
But yeah, games are perfect for it. I said when 4 came out, I wish 3 came out because most of the songs in that game don't even need a dance remix. But they're gonna
3's got my least favorite music, but I'm very excited for these. I'm most excited for the remixes of 5 because 5 is not like dancey.
Yeah, it's
music.
jazzy. It's like lounge sort of music.
I'm very curious when you start adding the lyrics and stuff to that. I will buy all these CDs. I will buy the collector's edition. My Vita is the Dancing All Night Vita.
Yeah,
like I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
Have you seen my room? Do you see all the Persona?
There's easily a couple $100 being dropped next year for these
Everything
things.
that's been said so far does not surprise me.
2018, at least for Japan. I
Yeah.
don't know what the localized stuff, if we're gonna get it at
And
the
we
same
all
time.
played-
I doubt it.
we all
didn't
played
even, we didn't
dub.
even get Persona 5 at the same time, so I highly doubt we're
We
getting
all
this.
played dub of the main game, so we're not used to any of the Japanese voices, but I doubt they're going to have even the anime concurrently at the same time being dubbed over, so it might just be
even dub the last two
the movie, yeah.
or the golden
Or,
anime.
yeah. So, I don't know, that's fine.
Stupid.
I think
Stupid.
I think
don't
they
wanna read.
I
while
think
I'm
they
watching
will
something.
because the West, as far as West's purchases of this game like skyrocketed.
Oh yeah.
So they'll do a dub for sure.
Except for they put it on Vita.
Yeah.
So, well, it's on PS4 too, I guess. But
And I know I've seen on Twitter all of the voice actors for the game that I started following once I played it. We're kind of getting the hashtags and the hype rolling for it, so they're hoping to get some more work, I would
Oh, yeah.
imagine. I know, sort of like I was saying, when they were doing 5, when they were making contracts, I know they would have had us go, okay,
and
well,
a
here's the
dancing
game, yeah,
and a fighting game,
and eventually,
and maybe a new spinoff.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what it.
I think
I would play a soccer Persona soccer game.
I think we will eventually get a Switch Persona game. We're getting Shin Megami,
Yes.
so I know they can transfer over.
I
I
think
don't
we
know
will
what their
too.
licenses are like, why they can get
Or give us Tokyo
The-
Mirage too.
the
Whichever.
please. Why they can get the
You
chibi.
played that game?
I played the first 30 minutes of that game.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know why they can get like the chibi cute version of the game that aren't canon. They can get those on Nintendo systems, but they can't get.
Yeah, I don't think it's any sort of contract
So, yeah.
because Sony doesn't pay for their games, and Sony doesn't even show their games on stage like they should.
Mhm.
Like they just kind of ignore them. So I
But
don't know.
To be fair, I think Tokyo Mirage, I think that could easily be one of the new remaster.
God,
Wii
I want it
ports.
so bad.
Yeah.
I think because they've done it with so many, and that was I feel like one of the higher rated
The
titles on the Wii U.
The big thing they have to figure out is the phone system in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for Persona, I guess. Moving forward, is there's a lot of notifications and stuff you get on the phone with Tokyo Mirage where they need to figure that out.
Just use that HD Rumble to let me know I got a message.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
I think there's definitely ways they can do it. I just think that that's such a reoccurring theme right now with Switch is, man, Wii U is terrible. No one played any of these great games. Let's just port them over. Like
Yeah.
Mario Kart did great.
And all of those have an asterisk
Tournament.
that says, but how do I implement this feature?
Yeah. And, I think that's something that you got to work through. But
Yeah.
I think if they did, I think you would see a huge install base for it.
Mhm.
I don't think it matters which games they even announce at this point. I think as long as they're reasonable Wii U titles, everyone's going to go, yay, thank you.
Honestly, if they just made a phone app for Tokyo Mirage.
I was just about to say there's another game coming out. I can't remember what it is, but they're putting an app on the Switch store for it so that somebody can play the app do the app thing while somebody else is playing the game, and it links to your game, similar to I guess Rumbo, how
Sure.
you have the Color Master. The Color Master would be a downloadable app on the Switch store type thing. So I don't know. We'll
that
see.
sounds really weird.
It's Nintendo. Have you tried voice chat? Have you tried the voice chat?
Me and you
It's
have the app, and I
awful.
tried to do it down there when we were trying to
It's
figure out how to do it.
awful. I tried it once and I was like, this is the worst thing ever. And I turned on my PlayStation and I got in a party and then I changed the channel back to the Switch and I was like, all right, now let's play.
And now, in Nintendo's
This
defense,
sucks.
though, to be fair, I would not carry around a headset with the Switch portable.
True.
So
Sure.
that's one piece that I have to at least agree with them. I will accept them being creative.
So what are you going to do? Talk on your phone and play?
No. That's not any better. I'm not saying the solution they came up with was the right one. I'm just saying I understand their difficulty of how are we going to have people talk online with a portable device like
their
this.
big
The
problem
Vita did it
is
fine.
that they didn't have a
Yeah.
Bluetooth port for anything.
That's true.
Second off, all you have to do is just put a
Headphone jack
a
in the
receiver in there and
stupid
then just
thing.
wear it on your ear,
Yeah.
and that could be the easy solution. And I feel like Japan, most of Japan, they're all right on top of each other. I don't know why Bluetooth was skipped over for this.
Save money.
Who
I know
knows?
stuff like friend codes,
And battery.
friend
God, I
codes,
hate
and all that
friend codes
stuff.
so much.
That makes sense in Japan.
Aren't you excited to pay for this service?
Because they have
Fun fact. Part of the reason I bought the Switch is because I don't want to pay for their online, and I
Yeah.
wanted to play Splatoon for free off online before they make it paid.
So
That is part of the reason I bought it.
But
here's
yeah,
my question.
like
If I'm gonna I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
yeah, but with friend codes, it sucks because they're not in our mindset where they have X number of people times more than us
Yeah.
in
On a train.
a third of the space, all on top of each other, whereas we're spread out. So me playing with a California friend or something, it sucks for me to be like, oh, what's your friend code? Because I can't just like scan it.
And here's the thing.
when he's nearby.
I don't care that there's a friend code system implemented. That's fine. What I think is that if you're going to have me sign on to a Nintendo account, and that's my account login, and I can sign onto that account by linking it to Facebook, then let me add my friends by who's my Facebook friends account and do it that way. Why do I need to know your friend code and your friend code?
At the very least,
have you on a list and click your names and auto
this
add.
generation, they've at least gotten away from a friend code per game. Because each Pokemon game...
I wouldn't add anybody.
Because I would buy both when they came out, and I would have a friend code for red, one for blue, basically.
I literally wouldn't add... Hey, back in those days, it was link cables.
Yeah.
That was the OG.
That was pretty sweet, though.
the link cables were
Meet
sick.
at lunchtime, something like that. Let's hook up.
Plug in.
All right. Well, let's
like, I'm done with
let's
these
just keep talking about the Switch, I guess. Resident Evil Revelations is coming out for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox on August 29th. It's 1 and 2, Revelations 1 and 2. It's been announced that it is coming to the Switch in late 2017. Another game for the Switch that doesn't have a release date. I don't know why they don't put release dates. Apparently, it runs in 1080p.
Whoa. I didn't know the system could do that.
Yeah, and I've heard that it is the first game on cartridge and then a download code for the second game, which is stupid. But anyway.
Makes sense. But
Resident
that
Evil.
sounds like Final Fantasy X on Vita.
Yes. That's
Here's
how
Final
it was.
Fantasy X and 10. Here's the download.
And then in Europe, they were both on this cartridge.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
weird.
why?
Really weird.
What's the problem? But anyway, that's cool. But to me, that is not a Switch game. Like I was talking about, the Switch games to me are niche single-player things that I can only play on the Switch, and then the multiplayer thing. And this doesn't fall into that. I would never want to play a Resident Evil on a Switch.
No, I want a full controller. I'd play it with a Pro controller, I guess.
Sure, but I'll
So-
just play it on PS4 then.
I'm torn on this. And the reason why is because I agree with you, and I think you're right. But the other side of the same coin is when Nintendo was coming out with the Switch, a huge question from everyone is, will they have third-party support?
That's fair.
And I think that while it might not be the Resident Evil game you want to play on Switch or you want to play on Switch, having the available title might get a larger user base.
Yeah.
People are going to buy it because it's a Switch game. It's just one of those things where if
Look at
more and
Street
more,
Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. People are going to buy games because they're Switch games because they want to play with the Switch. So it's going to be, even though it might not be the ideal port for it, it might not be the way you want to play, I think that it's important to have those games available there for people.
I mean, I'll probably
That's
end
fair.
up buying Skyrim again just for the simple fact that I've never got to play it on mobile.
I'm going to buy it solely for the fact that I can play as Zelda.
That too.
I'm pretty sure you play as Link.
Whatever. I can get girl clothes in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent like 500 hours in that game already, and it's
Me as
pretty
well.
much been laid to rest.
I'm gonna do it in VR. It's gonna be great.
And I'm feel like I'm gonna get it in VR and on Switch. And it's just like, why? Why am I doing that?
Yeah, I really don't think there's a huge point to it in the fact that there's just so few games right now. I know one of my friends was talking to me and he was considering picking up a Switch. And he was like, what games are out for right now? And I was like, these like 4. And he was like, there's not any more. I'm like, it's been out for like 3 months, man. Those are all good.
There's
Mario Kart,
Blaster
Zelda.
Master. There's Mario Kart, and there's Splatoon, and there's Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Game of the year, Puyo Puyo Tetris. That come out this year?
I mean,
Game of the year, Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Did it come out for anything else?
came out for
PS4,
PS4.
Xbox.
I don't think it came out for Xbox.
It definitely came out for
Definitely,
PS4
100%.
because that's what I want to buy it for.
Yep.
Because I don't know if I've said this. The rights for Tetris is really weird. So there's not allowed to be a Tetris game on the PlayStation 4 store. So the only Tetris game on the PlayStation 4 store is Tetris Ultimate, I believe it's called, for the PS4 and Vita. So since that's on there, they cannot put Puyo Puyo Tetris on there for whatever reason. So Puyo Puyo Tetris is actually physical only for the PlayStation 4, and that's why I want to get it because I think it's kind of a cool collector item.
Yeah,
Came
that
out in
is kinda
2014. Not game of this year.
neat. And wrecked, Kevin.
Anyway, moving on, let's talk about limited run games for a minute because that's how long this game was up for sale. Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap, sold out in 2 minutes on limited run games.
Yeah.
People were very upset with this. They did a new thing where they bundled it with Lawbreakers, which was available much longer for people that wanted to buy both, and people were accusing them of trying to do a bundle just to get the extra money for Lawbreakers, et cetera, and they're like, no, trust us. A lot of people buy both games. People collect our games. They want the bundle.
Yeah.
and it would give people time to get it as opposed to just putting up this one game. But yeah, it sold out in 2 minutes, and this is not even their most anticipated game, which is Night Trap, which comes out next week, and people are very worried about getting one of that.
So can I be honest with this?
Yes. I'm not gonna stop you.
I was buying limited run games for a while because
really?
they had a few
I have
games.
like 15 of them, and I'm like, I never opened these. Do I really need them?
See, and I was opening them because I was playing them, and I thought they were neat. And I just like physical media as opposed to download codes, whatever.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Here's my thing: is that I stopped. I literally haven't bought for the past like couple waves they've done.
Yep.
Because for me, while the games are cool and they're neat, I was just buying games and not playing them.
Exactly.
And it got kind of weird for me. Now, if they did like a special cool game that like I was really interested in, that I'd played before, that's different. Or if they started doing Switch games, something that would, motivate me to do it. But I kind of stopped. But one thing is I saw this whole piece of what you're saying about is people getting upset about the times that things sell out in and if they couldn't get one. And people don't understand that it's called limited run games.
Yeah. I know.
I literally never had a problem buying any of their games.
I haven't had one that I was there for the release. Like if I was there on time, I've never missed one.
Exactly. Every single time it happens, they email multiple times at a time. They let you know the day before, the week before,
tweet,
15 minutes before. And every time, if you're on there at 59 and you click login, click buy, you get it.
Yeah.
Every time. And people complain because they're trying to buy it 5, 10, 15 minutes later. You can't complain about something being limited. You just can't. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, I'm going for this Night Trap thing. There's 2 different covers. There's a collector's edition, and I don't know what I want yet. I need to figure it out because it goes up next Friday.
Well, if you need a second buyer, I will be on my
definitely
computer
want
for
this
you.
game.
Godspeed.
And we'll see what happens. I'll let you know. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of them, and I don't open them. And then I wait for the digital one to come out, and I buy it for $2 or $3 digitally, and then I just have this limited run thing on my shelf. And some of them are cool, and I'm super glad I have Firewatch. I love that game. I'm so glad I have Firewatch. I have both Shantaes. I really like Shantae. I have the PlayStation or PSX exclusive Stranger's Wrath. There's ones that I really like that I have, but then I also have Stealth Inc., and I don't really even like that game.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? So
that was kind of my point. Is the thing is it would be one thing too if they didn't come out that often, but they're literally releasing 2 to 4 games every week.
Now they are,
and it's just it's too much.
Yeah, and now it doesn't feel, it's still limited runs, but the amount of games they have has multiplied by so much because they're almost the only people doing this. Fangamer did Shovel Knight for Vita and some super small things. And I Am 8-Bit did a little bit of stuff, but they're the...
Which, by the way, for what it's worth, Fangamer also just did Undertale, and I bought it because I've never played that game.
Yeah. I bought it too.
And I'm excited.
I remember you at E3, our PlayStation event, saying that you haven't played Undertale.
Yeah, I haven't played it either. Kellen bought it too.
I'm very excited to play that. I've heard a lot of good things, and I'm excited to hop into that.
You'll appreciate it.
A friend of the show, Mercedes, who was on one episode, is going to some Undertale convention to sell a bunch of Undertale stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a convention.
I was going to say, I don't know, because I don't know what the game even is. Literally have no clue what the game is.
I've heard it has a lot of Earthbound tones, and past that, I don't really know.
Another game I haven't
played. That should
be
a gold mine for your friend then.
Oh, yeah. Next up, more physical release stuff. Friday the 13th. Is getting its physical release. I originally was going to wait for this, and then I decided not to because there's so many updates and stuff that go into the game that the physical just doesn't mean very much. It is coming out October 13th, a.k.a. Friday the 13th. It's almost like they waited to do that. That's the same day as Wolfenstein. Or no, The Evil Within? Yeah, that's the same day as The Evil Within 2. Cool. Comes with an exclusive Jason, exclusive counselor skins. Whatever.
Cool.
They need to add a new level. They need to add some new content. So they have all these problems. There's a bug where you could get on the roof, and they had to spend so much time fixing that. They just patched that for the Xbox 2 weeks ago because I guess Xbox patches are really hard to get through.
Yeah, certification process
and they cost
and all that.
a lot of money to get through. And they just finally patched that on Xbox, and now I feel okay, now they can work on the new stuff. We don't know what it is. They tweeted Orange is the New Black and made a tease that they're doing a prison level. I don't know.
So
I play that game a lot still.
I haven't played that game at all. And question on it. I've seen a lot of Let's Plays. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
How many different maps are there?
3.
Okay. And see, here's one thing I always thought was kind of weird. I didn't know why they didn't do maps based on each movie. I thought that would have been super cool. There would have been a New York map from when it was.
Yeah.
I think they're just slowly rolling them out.
That and there's licensing issues because different people own the rights. It's the same reason they don't have all the skins for Jason in the game. They don't have the rights to those movies, so they can't do that. I want the Jason X skin really bad because he looks sweet, and I want a spaceship level. I also want like a New York or a boat because a lot of that movie's on a boat. They have the skin from that Jason, so I hope that they could do that, at least the boat that they were on. And I think it would be cool because you could change up the gameplay mechanics. Like instead of trying to fix a boat or a car, maybe you're trying to do something else in the spaceship to,
lock
escape.
Jason in an airlock and shoot him out into space, alien style or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like a boat's like a little life pod or something like that.
Yeah, like I think you have to find like a
shuttle bay
life
on a
vest
ship.
or jump off the ship. Like I think that could be really cool.
But he could throw you into the rudder or something like that.
I think that game has a lot of potential. I also don't understand if for people that do own the rights, like what do they get by saying no? You can't.
I don't know.
Make a
Have you heard
costume
about
in
the
your
Friday
game.
the 13th rights?
No.
Okay, I'll go over this
it's probably
incredibly
miserable.
quick. Basically, the rights to Jason and the rights to Friday the 13th are separate. And so somebody has the rights to Jason, the character, and somebody has the rights to the Friday the 13th franchise, and they are not together. So technically, we can get a Friday the 13th movie that doesn't have Jason, or we can get a Jason movie that's not called Friday the 13th.
If we ever get a Jason movie or a Friday the 13th movie without Jason in it, no one's gonna go see it.
I got bad news for
terrible.
you. If you've ever seen the first Friday the 13th, because Jason's not in it. But anyway,
Don't look at me.
Are you sure?
I'm 1,000,000% sure.
Well, I'm not 1,000,000% sure, so I'm not gonna.
I
fight you
mean,
on it.
he's in it. He's not the killer.
Spoiler
You didn't know
alert.
this? Yeah, it is.
I mean,
it's very much a spoiler for
very much a
It's been
79
super long
movie.
since I've seen any of those movies.
That's fair.
All the old school ones.
The first one's really good. Let's move on to some sadder news. Corey Gasper has passed away. He was the lead of Anthem,
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
Yeah. Real big deal.
Yeah, so he passed away. He previously has worked on Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, some games people like.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know the cause of death. They were very quiet about that. Hush, hush. That's, their business, whatever. They have a GoFundMe for his son, Kane, that already hit its goal, and it's going over it, so that's nice. So, of course, unfortunate. I hope his family's all right, and the Anthem process, I don't know if this is going to do anything with Anthem or if they're so far along
Well, that's
on
the
that
sad part,
or whatever.
especially with Andromeda, a couple other games recently. They've had people leaving, as in, switching jobs, switching departments and stuff like that. So to lose someone in a terrible way like this sucks even worse than someone, moving on for your creative differences, I guess. So,
and I think at least in the good part of the Anthem team, like, there's no release date. They haven't told people when it's expected to come out.
Right.
So that team can still take as long as they need to, regroup and try to still create something neat.
and at least with the examples I was pointing out with Andromeda, like it feels like one person's vision can have quite a toll on a game.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm sure there's been tons of boardroom meetings and, get-togethers and stuff like that for the game and saying, hey, this is where we're plotting along the course, because it's their A-team.
Right.
It's their whole company.
Yeah, it's similar to, like, Neil Druckmann, who works at Naughty Dog. He's done, 2.5 games for them. One of them was Uncharted 2. One of them was The Last of Us. He took over for, like, Uncharted 4. And then he's working on Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
And to me, like, Uncharted 3 versus Uncharted 2, there's a very big difference between the leads for that. So, also today, I found out, like, at midnight last night, that Daniel Lynch died, who was a composer. He did, like, music for TV shows like Dexter, but he also took over the mantle to do the Silent Hill music. He's done the Silent Hill music in the past 2 games, and he passed away of cancer at the age of 60. So, 2017 claiming more victims. But
Rip.
Yeah, it's hard enough to keep people on teams and stuff as is, just creatively, and people fighting for, I want to do this, or I want the game to go this way, but to have something like that thrown in there really sucks.
Unexpectedly like that, yeah. Speaking of unexpected, though, Destiny 2 pre-orders have exceeded Destiny 1, and the Destiny 2 beta had more players than Destiny 1. What? Did you play it?
I feel like you're going to keep asking me this question.
And you're going to say no?
So here's my thing about...
Just yes or no?
The beta. Are you saying the beta, or did I play Destiny 1?
The beta.
No, I did not.
Did you play the beta? No. who played the beta? I don't understand. I don't know a single person who played it.
I think basically you have all of the Destiny faithfuls are still playing this. So if you want to say whatever the number was, I'll just say 2 million.
Okay.
If you have 2 million people in Destiny 1 through Taken King, they're all playing the beta. So there's 2 million, let's say 1.9. And then there's all these other people like me probably who are like, well, I played Destiny at the start.
I'll check it out.
I eventually trailed off. They did all these DLCs. I saw the announcements. Hey, it looks pretty cool. I'll check it out. So there's probably like another wave of like 200,000. So I don't know what the actual figures were, but I would imagine it's very narrow that it beat out Destiny 1.
It's just crazy to me.
Because I know...
I haven't heard any like hype for Destiny 2. I know when Destiny 1 came out, my Facebook feed was all videos and stuff from Destiny 1. I've never played a game where I've had more people
and your
online
friends list was
for
just Destiny,
all Destiny. Everybody's ready to group and raid or strike or whatever it was called.
I hear with the more people who might be interested or checking it out, I hear more, what's the difference between Destiny 1 and this? Like, not really like negativity, but it's just like a lack of hype. It's just apathy, I guess, almost. It's just like empty. And people are just like, okay, well, it's Destiny 1.5.
I think that was my thing about it was I thought Destiny 1 was always such like a community game. Like if you weren't in it,
absolutely. It's like Pokemon Go.
Yeah. If you weren't invested in it, then like you kind of were falling by the wayside, and that's kind of where I was. That's why I never really got into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know people that are really into it, and as soon as you said who are the people that are playing it, like I just picture those people. I don't picture like anyone who never played.
I had some super hardcores that made it through every expansion, every update, whatever.
Yeah. So do I.
I missed
on Destiny 2.
I missed maybe 2 weeks when the first raid came out, and I was the gap between me and them, gear wise and knowledge wise, and just being what they were able to do versus what I was kind of beating them at.
I got too many games to play to do that.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I've been thinking about it. I don't think I'm going to get Lawbreakers. I just won't be good at that game because I don't have time to play that game and get better at it. And when I play it, I'm going to hate it because I'm going to get smoked. Yeah. So Lawbreakers, a game I recommend. I liked it. I enjoyed the beta, all the stuff. It reminds me of Unreal. I think it's really cool. I'm probably not going to get it because I just don't have time to practice it.
You have to commit.
Final little bit of news. We talked about the NES Classic, or not the NES Classic, the Super NES Classic, canceling pre-orders from Walmart.
Which, by the way, I am very upset about that. I had one of those.
I didn't know that.
Here's the worst part about the situation is they were like,
I didn't even pre-order because I knew it was too good to be true.
I pre-ordered, and then the worst part about it was there were like rumors, or people were like, my order got canceled, and I look,
you thought you made it.
It says processing, and I'm good to go. I'm like, sweet.
You thought you made it.
And then they announced we're canceling everyone's pre-orders, and then a huge amount of people were like, we're canceling, and I look at mine, it says processing, and I'm like, sweet. And then everyone's like, no, everyone, every YouTuber, every video game news site, everyone's like, they're all getting canceled. Everyone kept flushing out more and more. Then I got an email that's like, we updated your arrival date. It's going to come in September. And I'm like, sweet. Then I got the cancellation. And I was like, Walmart.
Someone was hitting the wrong buttons the whole time.
And then I even saw a post on Twitter today where Walmart sent out to someone who ordered it and canceled like a survey. A survey. Like, did your Super Nintendo, did it meet your needs? Did you receive it on time? And he was like, Walmart with the jabs.
Anyway, they announced that there will be pre-orders. There wasn't pre-orders for the original Nintendo Classic thing. You had to go there at midnight. So, it was miserable.
Yes and no. That's half true. A few websites did pre-orders, but they realized the amount of
volume
they got, and they turned them off immediately. Amazon was one of those. I know Amazon turned theirs on for like 30 minutes, and then we're like, nope, and they just turned it right off.
Yeah.
Similar situation with Persona 5, where it dropped out the Take Your Heart edition for a little bit. I guess they sold out.
But no, this is not doing they didn't.
This is them hitting like the alarm. Yeah.
This one they announced there will be pre-orders for this. They're coming late August to all the major retailers, Best Buy, Amazon. I think that it'll be much easier to get this than it will the old one.
Initially.
I want this one for sure because I've talked about it before. Didn't really play the Super Nintendo. I don't have an attachment to it. This is perfect for me. So
I think it will initially be easier, but it's one of those one wave and you miss it.
I don't think it will be, in all honesty, because here's the issue that I think Nintendo has is that, sure, they say there's going to be more. Sure, they say they're going to do pre-orders. The Nintendo Classic, regardless of what system it is, has a stigma of it's going to be hard to get. People are going to flip them on eBay, Craigslist for a lot of money. So I think even if they do make more of them, I still think that the initial wave, the initial pre-orders are going to get completely sucked up by scalpers and people trying to flip them and people that think, oh, well, I need to get 3 or 4 of these and give them to my friends or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that it's not going to be, oh, yeah, I want one because I need it. And
I
think that's gonna be
definitely-
a
I
huge
don't
issue.
think you're going to be able to go into a store and get
No.
one, but I think you'll be able to pre-order
There's
one
that,
if you
and
want.
I definitely foresee a lot of, hey, yours is on the next shipment. Hey, this has been delayed a couple of days.
Yeah, that's true. I saw that with the Farpoint bundle. Newegg or something has it, and it's like on back order, expected in 4
Yeah.
weeks. And I'm like, I'm not ordering this.
Yeah.
This seems like a mistake.
However, though, I don't know if you guys talked about it in a previous one, the fact that they registered the controller little symbol for the N64. So,
Oh, no,
Yeah,
yeah.
so basically Nintendo has the little controller symbols they put on the top of the box. The NES Classic just had a simplified NES controller. They did another one for Super Nintendo. Well, when they announced Super Nintendo Classic, they went ahead and registered the N64
yeah,
logo.
we're gonna get the N64 one.
That
That's
would
weird.
be
I wouldn't think that's. I would think they do Game Boy.
Well,
but
the weirdest part about it is, like, how are they going to do 4 controllers with it?
I don't
Because
know.
they went one with NES but had 2 ports. SNES comes with 2 and it has 2
You
ports.
just make it bigger.
I guess so. But either way, I'm stoked for that. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to do an episode where we put what games we want on that thing, and it won't be
That'll be
me,
easy.
and we'll all have the same games because. In all honesty, the N64 doesn't have that many great games. It's got a lot of like.
no, I would
it's got
say
like
it's-
a couple amazing games and then a bunch of trash.
Well, I think everyone's top 5 probably is going to be pretty similar. About the same, maybe one here altering.
Well, there's not a lot of like third-party games for it.
But I think the thing is everyone has those kind of N64 games that were special to them that they played when they were younger that they like a lot. Like
Rugrats, Cookie, whatever.
No, but I think there's just certain games on there that, like, you know, you and Nick might not have played, but I played when I was younger, and I really have an attachment to that game. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain word platforms on there, like Glover and things like that.
I played Glover recently.
But you see what I mean? Like, there's little games like that like someone might, like Chameleon Twist, things that some people might have played and others might not have. So,
Buck Bumble.
got it.
It's not a great game. Let's move on to some questions. So, what is the best way to tackle a backlog? Do we do short games first and then try to eliminate as many short games as we can? Do we try to do like a long game first? Do we do something that's like time sensitive? How do you attack your backlog?
Mine is more genre based. I don't want to do open world fantasy, open world fantasy, open world fantasy, and then like move on to sports and then
Gotcha.
action shooter. Like
You want to hop around. a
yeah,
little bit.
like I know, and that's my problem with this year is that I had Tales of Berseria, Yakuza, Horizon, Nier, Andromeda, Persona, all in the same boat, and they're not all the same genre, obviously, but they all require a
Lot of
ton of
time.
time.
Nick just listed a whole bunch of games that are still in my backlog.
Yeah, so
I got
that's why I haven't
Horizon's
finished
almost done.
Horizon, Yakuza, Nier, well, technically Nier,
So
and all these
excited
other
for you.
games just because like I have to commit to one, whereas I can play Splatoon, mobile game, little bit of Final Fantasy, you know, stuff like that, whereas I can't have 2 RPGs going at the same time. It's too
Right.
much. So I like to jump around. Like if I played platformers, it would be like platformer, party game, single player, epic fantasy, whatever,
Sure.
Diablo.
Mhm.
So I like to mix it up that way to keep it varied a little bit, because if I just overload on shooters, then my blood pressure's through the roof, or if I
Right.
play fantasy all the time, then I don't get anything done.
For me, I do time sensitive is almost always 1st. So something that either A has a community that you need to be a part of, like a Destiny or like a Splatoon, something like that. Those are always going to be first for me because I don't want to miss that boat. Then it's time sensitive in the way like I want to play Nier because it might be my game of the year and I need to check
Yeah.
that out. I want to play Horizon because it might be my game of the year. It's not.
Sure.
And I want to check that out, you know, things
Yeah,
like
and I
that. Then
guess-
after that, I like to do it by console. I almost always have a Vita game I'm playing, a PS2 game I'm playing because I have a long backlog, a 360 game I'm playing, a PS4 game I'm playing, and to me, it's more about what console do I feel like playing, and I play that game until I'm either sick of it, which is something new that I've never really done before until this year, where I'm just like, I'm done with this game. I don't need to finish it.
Yeah.
I never do that. I've finally been able to do that.
I will say mine is kind of influenced by time of the year. So if this was November or December, and we kind of like to do our what was the best of the year,
Yeah.
and I've got something like a Nier sitting out there, then I'll just push everything aside and just say, I got to play this.
And then for me, I just keep buying games and I keep adding them to this giant stack on my desk where it gets higher and higher, makes me more and more sad. And then I buy a console from like 20 years ago and I just play that.
Yeah, that's actually a huge problem with my backlog. I'm like, man, I could learn new mechanics, learn new maps and terrains and all the new characters and all this stuff.
Or I could just play the sweet game I love.
Or I could just play the Super Mario 64 where I can get all the stars really fast and feel like a boss.
Well,
I'm
like,
going to do that one.
The last game I honestly beat, and this is going to sound terrible to Nick, but Kevin, you're going to love it. The last game I actually beat was I bought the Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 remix.
Yes!
And I beat both 1 and 2.
Yeah!
And I was like, but the thing is the reason why I bought that was because when I got a PS2 for my birthday, back when it came out, I got like 1 or 2 games with it, and Kingdom Hearts was one of those games. And I remember sitting there and just playing that as a kid and loving it.
They're still good, aren't they? They're still good,
they're still good.
Yeah.
I tried to play Birth by Sleep.
Oh God, Birth by Sleep might be my favorite.
I'd never
mechanics are
played it because
totally
I never
different.
owned a PlayStation Portable.
Same.
So it was a little weirder for me. And I definitely got stuck at a few points where I was like, this is weird, I don't understand. Versus with the other
explain
ones.
Birth by Sleep to you. The combat mechanics in Birth by Sleep are by far the best. The story is really good too. 2 is my favorite one, but Birth by Sleep is really good. And once you learn how the combat works and that you can build decks and like fuse them together to make stronger spells, you can get all the strongest stuff in the first areas and just plow through the game, and it's super fun. There's 3 stories, and it ties directly into Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't know if you've seen the Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff. You need to play Birth by Sleep. Did you do 2.8? Because that was probably confusing.
So I know all of the story.
I'm glad we got down this Kingdom Hearts rabbit hole.
I know Nick wants to like just die right now.
Yeah, commit heinous suicide right now.
So I don't know, but that's my thing though. To go back to the point is that like when I am getting games, I find myself pulled back to things that I know I love.
Comfort
and I like.
food.
For example, like with Nick.
I don't want to go to a new restaurant. I want to eat this food.
Exactly. Like when Nick went and played Andromeda, it's because he played all of the other Mass Effect games.
Yeah.
Me, I dabbled in one when it came out, but I never really got attached to that series. Okay. So for me, I bought Andromeda when it came out because I thought it looked cool. And then when I bought it, I was like, nah, whatever. I'll play it when I get a chance, I guess. You know what I mean? Versus Kingdom Hearts, I went back to immediately. When I bought that game, I popped into the PS4 and I sat there for hours.
I just bought the collection on PS4 too. I beat it. I've beaten all of them now. Just waiting on 3.
I didn't play the 3DS one.
Yeah, that's the one I beat most recently.
I turned it on and I was like, this is weird. I'm not doing this.
There's only a few important. We'll talk off camera.
Yeah.
I don't want Nick to leave.
Hey, I sat through Persona dancing.
I'm cornered here, so I can't go anywhere.
But anyway, that's my point, is that I'm more apt to go through games like that. I have a list of games that I would love to start on and play. All the ones you guys listed are all perfect examples.
I think I've tried to force myself to branch out because, I mean, I didn't even think that I would buy
I did
like
too.
Zodiac
I tried
Age.
Fire Emblem and I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna do it.
I never would have bought Zodiac Age before this year, a week before it came out, honestly, and things like that. So I've just been trying to force myself. Otherwise, I would just be locked in my room playing RPGs
that's
for the
me
rest
too
of my
with
life.
like Horizon. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm getting through it, but I played it. I'm 2 missions from the finish, and I haven't played it in a week and a half. That's how much I like that.
The huge asterisk on all of this is Steam does not apply to this because Steam is just
you just buy
a sale,
50
a sale,
cents, whatever,
and you never ever play it.
Oh, this sounds good. It's $3. Here are your 50 games.
Yeah. All right. Final question, real quick: Team Mayo or Team Ketchup?
I am Team Mustard. Just kidding. I clicked Mayo because Kevin made me.
All right, we didn't need to say that part. Mayo.
It's not even close.
Yeah,
the Mayo art.
Correct. It's not
the
even
Mayo
close.
community art is way better, but Ketchup is better.
The Ketchup leader is better.
I'm just saying.
Pearl sucks, but Mayo is so much. I actually just don't like ketchup. Like straight up, don't like ketchup. So
from the amount
Ketchup's
I've played
great.
Splatoon and the amount of stuff I've seen, community also those little drawings. My
you
favorite
would think
thing,
furries are.
My favorite thing about the whole game is when me and Kevin were walking through it earlier. There was all these like super detailed pictures of people with their Splatoon characters and Team Mayo, Team Ketchup. There was one lone guy in the middle who had a sign that just said, "Localized Mother 3." And that was great. That made my Splatoon 2 experience wonderful.
Yeah, there's a lot of knack posts and a lot of furry posts and a lot of team I don't like either posts.
Yeah.
But
I think Knack 2 comes out really soon, doesn't it?
September or something.
Yeah, I think it's really soon.
I will be playing that. All right. As far as releases goes, I'm just going to go over a couple of them that I know and want to talk about real quick, and then we can get out of here. So the big one for me, August 8th, Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. It's Mega Man 7, 8, 9, and 10. It's important because 9 and 10 have never been released physically, so this is their first time ever. It's got a museum. It's got challenge modes. It's got save states and all that stuff. I had some issues with Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 save states in that they just took too long to load. I'm hoping that they fixed all that. I don't know. I haven't seen any of this.
Kevin versus Kellen, gamer versus gamer for a Pepper round 2.
Yeah, I don't think he liked the Mega Man thing. Next up is Hellblade, coming out also on August 8th. This is done by Team Ninja or Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory. Who did the Devil May Cry reboot, DMC. They did Heavenly Sword, games like that.
Sure.
This game is this game looks awesome, but I'm worried about it because it's $30. It's digital only, and Sony like revealed it like it was a big thing, and then they kind of dropped it, and we haven't heard Sony in particular talk about it at all since then.
$30 digital only is also just strange.
Yeah, and they're like, this is a AAA indie game, and I'm like, we'll see about that.
It looks pretty.
It looks awesome. Everything I know about this game, you play as a girl who's schizophrenic, so like some of the monsters you fight aren't even real and stuff. Like it seems really cool, but I'm gonna wait and see because this could be like game of the year, or it could just be a dud. Like I do not know.
And we'll wait to find out before we spend $30.
It could be
correct.
It could be a Tokyo Mirage or a Andromeda.
Or yeah, basically. August 8th, we have Batman, The Enemy Within, which I think is the new season of the Batman Telltale stuff. I think it's episode 1 of the new season. I didn't finish the old season. I need to get back to that. I was on episode 4. And then the other big one is Lawbreakers on August 8th, which is
Mario
Overwatch.
plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Is that next week?
Oh, no. Do we only do week by week? I thought you were just doing August.
No, week by week, man.
Well, I'm excited for that.
Week by week. Yeah, Lawbreakers, August 8th. It is Unreal meets Overwatch in the simplest terms. If you're into that kind of stuff, definitely get it. And
If you want to break from Overwatch.
Oh,
get it.
there was one other thing that people probably care about. I think it was Hearthstone. Hearthstone Knights of the Frozen Throne, something like that. Yeah. It's an expansion for Hearthstone, I guess. I don't know anything about it. Never played Hearthstone.
I haven't played Hearthstone in the last like 3 expansions.
Downloaded Hex, though.
Do you like it?
I played the tutorial and shut it off because I don't like playing things on my computer. I'm
Cool.
like, this is for taxes. I don't want to do this. So,
You're an odd individual.
That was a weird statement.
what, computers? That's all they do.
Cool.
Microsoft Word, cool. Is that a game? Yeah, they're not 4 games.
Everybody put your dislike of Kevin's hate for our computers in the comments, please.
Please dislike this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, Craig.
No problem at all.
Thank you for being here, Nick.
Uh-huh.
And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll speak with you next time.